Do not marry someone that cannot give you the lifestyle that realistically you want. Especially if you want to have children, really think about the kind of life you want to give your children. If you marry a guy that cannot keep a job or really can't afford for you to ever stay home, why would you have children with that man? Because you might be thinking, oh, but I can earn money too. I am an attorney. I understand your thought process. Once you have children or get pregnant, you will realize pregnancy is so unpredictable. Birth is so unpredictable. Postpartum is so unpredictable. You can have very complicated medical issues that occur during those times. You want to be with someone that can provide during that time. And also, how insane that a man cannot keep a job and provide a decent lifestyle, but you're birthing his children. That is very difficult. And a lot of women are like, but I already love him. And they get in their emotions. And then you might be thinking, oh, but that's not romantic. If all you rely on is romance and emotion for the decision of who you marry, you are being extremely foolish. I do divorce and custody as an attorney, and I can tell you that's a quick way to ruin your life. Just base everything off of romance and feeling. Use logic, use wisdom. Be honest about the kind of life you think your future children deserve and the lifestyle that you actually want. I'm not saying only marry for lifestyle, also marry for values, someone that you enjoy, but you have to consider lifestyle. Do not.
This is tough, right? Where do you really start on something like this? Because what she's saying actually makes sense, right? There's when you're just looking at the surface level, it makes sense. Marry for lifestyle. He should be able to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that makes sense, But when you look at it from the male point of view, what is a man sort of getting out of this, right? If you're saying don't marry into struggle, doesn't that also hold true for men? Don't marry into struggle. Just what does a struggling woman look like? And we don't really have a definition for that, universal definition as we understand what a struggling man is, right? That's very concrete in our sort of society. But we rarely classify women in the same sort of sense that this is not a woman that's going to bring you any type of value, any real value to your life. This is just another burden. We still have trouble looking at women in that same critical light. And we're going to play this again so we can dissect a couple of things. But mainly, what I wanted to point out is when she's saying something like this, and we hear this sort of thing a lot, what we don't hear, we never really hear what the man gets out of it. Where's the benefit for a man being in this relationship or marrying a woman? If you're saying that he's supposed to provide a lifestyle and he's supposed to envision that and then make your selection of who you're going to marry by that, that's cool. We never shame people for what they want. What does a man get out of this?